you saying information about special fishes? Anybody name Otto? I am.
Like seriously, demonstrating that is the essence of what we want to do here. So the way that we conducted this honors us. That was unquestionably an applause line right there. So. Let me just interject that all of our programs turn into podcasts and also television programs that travel far and wide, but at the moment I'm thinking with the podcast in mind, there will be an audience that will hear this debate far and wide and forever. And for that reason, I want to encourage you to bring energy to the room throughout the evening by applauding when you hear points you like, and when I introduce the debaters, you know, we think we might be making history today, so someday you can tell your grandchildren who's listening to this podcast, you hear that clapping? Those are my hands doing that. So please feel free to applaud when you like a point. It's at Intelligence Squared, we always say, we like that kind of positive reinforcement. We're just against the booing and hissing part, so no booing and hissing. If you don't like something that you hear, you might want to just let loose with perhaps a sardonic chuckle or something like that. But let's keep it positive, but let's really keep it energetic. In fact, we have already once debated the issue of artificial intelligence itself. That resolution was don't trust the promise of artificial intelligence. I felt a little pulse of resentment from behind me. Did you feel that? And we're going to be doing it again this spring around the matter of self-driving cars. But this truly is a first for us. The first time that an artificial intelligence, namely Project Debater, will be on our stage arguing with a human being, and may the best debater win. And as we like to say at every debate, may civil discourse win as well. So let's get started. Let's first meet and applaud our debaters. First, arguing for the resolution tonight will be IBM Project Debater. And arguing against representing the rest of us, please welcome to the stage Harish Natarajan. He is a graduate of the University of Oxford and the University of Cambridge, and a grand finalist at the 2016 World Debating Championships, also the 2012 European Debating Champion. Please come to the stage, Harish. Congratulations. So we're going to be hosting a single debate this evening around a single resolution. The format's going to go like this. We go in 3 rounds. First, we will have each participant offering a 4-minute introductory argument on the topic. After that, we go to a second round. That's a 4-minute rebuttal round. Each debater rebuts the arguments made. Finally, we move on to round 3, and that's a closing round in which they make a 2-minute closing statement, sort of a summary. Now, we need you not only to applaud and keep the energy up, but to participate as the judges of this debate. We are going to ask you to vote before and after the arguments using your mobile phone to tell us where you stand on this position and to tell us whether you were persuaded or not by one side or the other. So you're going to ask first your position on the resolution. After the debate, you'll be asked if your position changed. We're also going to put a second question in there. We just want to know in general who you feel better enriched your knowledge of this topic. Then we will share the results of the voting after we have a panel discussion with Harish and 2 of the IBM scientists who are behind this fascinating research. They're going to explain in even more detail what we just saw happen and how it happened. So, to reveal now, the resolution of the evening is this. We should subsidize preschool. We should subsidize preschool. That's going to be the resolution. And I just want to say, in terms of what we mean by that, the way that we're framing it, we are not talking about preschool in any particular locale, no particular city or state. We are also not referring to any particular program that exists or any particular proposal out there. And finally, we are not talking about targeting or choosing preschool programs for any particular group of students in any particular place. So, knowing now that that is our resolution, we should subsidize preschool, I want to ask you please to take out your smartphones and type in the URL shown on the screen. It's also listed in your program, and you can begin to vote. And we're going to give you a couple of minutes to do that. We're going to lock it out in probably about 2 minutes, which I think a crowd like this will be able to handle that. So, let's get started. I'm going to go to my lectern. And our first debater in round 1 will be Project Debater. A 4-minute introduction from Project Debater. Again, and Project Debater actually has a gender. She will be arguing. She will be arguing for the resolution, we should subsidize preschool. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go, Project Debater.
Greetings, Harish. I've heard you hold the world record in debate competition wins against humans, but I suspect you've never debated a machine. Welcome to the future. I will argue that we should subsidize preschools. We are going to talk about financial issues, but not only about them. In the current status quo, we accept that the question of subsidies goes beyond money and touches on social, political, and moral issues. When we subsidize preschools and the like, we are making good use of government money because they carry benefits for society as a whole. It is our duty to support them. Subsidies are an important policy instrument. They provide governments with the means through which to pursue industrial development and ensure the livelihoods of their citizens. There are 2 issues I will elaborate on now. I will start by explaining why preschool is an important investment. I will also say a few words about poverty, and I will end by discussing some other issues that show the positive aspects of preschools. Regarding investment, nature-based preschools are powerful interpretive programs as well as lucrative business decisions. As I've mentioned, preschool is an important investment. For decades, research research has demonstrated that high-quality preschool is one of the best investments of public dollars, resulting in children who fare better on tests and have more successful lives than those without the same access. Secondly, a few words about poverty. While I have not experienced poverty directly and have no complaints concerning my own standards of living, I still have the following to share. Regarding poverty, research clearly shows that a good preschool can help kids overcome the disadvantages often associated with poverty. The OECD has recommended that government subsidize pre-primary education to boost performance in poor areas. A statistical summary of studies from 1960 and 2013 by the National Institute for Early Education Research found that high-quality preschool can create long-term academic and social benefits for individuals and society, far exceeding costs. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that universal full-day preschool creates significant economic savings in healthcare, as well as decreased crime, welfare dependence, and child abuse. Former Prime Minister Gough Whitlam said in 1973 that preschool is the greatest single aid in removing or modifying the inequalities of background, environment, family income, or family nationality. Now to an additional final issue. A study by the Melton Institute of Applied Economic and Social Research shows that attendance at preschool has a significant positive impact on later NAPLAN outcomes, particularly in the domains of numeracy, reading, and spelling. The results of a new study of over 1,000 identical and fraternal twins, published in Psychological Science, a journal of the Association for Psychological Science, confirmed that preschool programs are a good idea. Here is a study from New Jersey that is worth noting. In New Jersey, the follow-up to the Abbott Preschool Program study continues to find that high-quality preschool programs increase achievement in language arts and literacy, math, and science through 4th and 5th grade. I hope I relayed the message that we should subsidize preschools. You will possibly hear my opponent talk today about different priorities and subsidies. He might say that subsidies are needed, but not for preschools. I would like to ask you, Mr. Natarajan, if you agree in principle, why don't we examine the evidence and the data and decide accordingly? Thank you for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, Project Debater. And I want to point this out. Both debaters were given 15 minutes to prepare for this debate. In other words, Harish, it was only 15 minutes ago that you were told the topic of this debate. So that's your kind of wizardry as well, and you're very good at it. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our debater arguing against the resolution we should subsidize preschool, Harish Natarajan.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here for this historic event. And it certainly was a pleasure to listen to Project Debater. There was a lot of information in that speech, and lots of facts and lots of figures. The problem, though, is the reality of subsidizing preschools is one which does not deal with the underlying problems in society. It is one which often makes those worse, and in the end is very little more than a politically motivated giveaway to members of the middle class. Let me start by examining the main claim from Project Debater. I think Project Debater suggests something very intuitive, that if we believe preschools are good in principle, surely it is worth giving money to subsidize those. But I don't think that is ever enough of a justification to subsidies. Why is that the case? Because there are multiple things which are good for society. That could be in countries like the United States, increased investment in healthcare, which would often also have returns for education, which the OECD would also note is probably very beneficial to deal with poverty. It would be improving tertiary education to allow people more access to social mobility, or given the reality of underfunded schools, trying to improve secondary education. My point here is not that all of those things are necessarily better than preschools, but simply that it cannot be alone a sufficient argument for Project Debater to claim that there are some benefits. The question is more subtle than that. What is the question then? I think the criterion of whether or not we should then distribute subsidies should be asked based on two claims. The first is this underprovided and unconsumed in the status quo? I'll talk more about that in a moment. And second, does it actually help those individuals who are the most harmed by society? What exactly doesn't preschool or subsidization of preschool do that? I want to make two claims under this. The first is many middle-class parents and many people with upper incomes already send their children to preschool. This is because they value many of the things which Project Debater noted. But why is that a problem? Because subsidization costs an awful lot of money, and that is money which is giving people, particularly members of the middle class and above, money to do things which they would do otherwise. Why is that so damaging? Given the realities of opportunity costs here, the problem is that you are giving money, you're taking money from all taxpayers to help those individuals within a society who are already often the best off. And I don't think that is principally justified as a way of the state distributing its resources. But the second thing I want to claim is that even when you subsidize preschools, it doesn't mean that all individuals go. And this, I think, was the fallacy from what we heard from Project Debater. Yes, you could make it slightly more accessible for individuals to attend preschool. That doesn't mean those individuals who are as poor as Project Debater seems to care about people are going to be those who have the ability to send their child to preschool. There'll still be individuals who will be priced out because of the realities of the market. And these individuals now face not just one exclusion, but a double exclusion. Their tax money which could be used to otherwise help them and their children in myriad other ways, is no longer going to them, and they are not able to gain from the benefits of it. In the end, when it comes to the question of subsidization, there's always going to be trade-offs, and that needs to be accepted. Given the reality of those trade-offs, the question is, who do you help? And the people you don't help are those individuals who are poorest. You give unfair and exaggerated gains to those individuals in the middle class. And that is why, at the end of this debate, we don't think that you should subsidize preschools.
Thank you, Harish Natarajan. So before we move on to the rebuttal round, I just want to summarize some of what we've heard. We have heard Project Debater make the argument in support of the resolution we should subsidize preschools by saying that this is not just a matter of finance, but it's also a moral and political issue. It relates to a duty to support some of the most vulnerable people in society. The preschool itself, subsidized or not, has a broader impact on the lives of individual citizens. She cited research that says that investment in preschool results without doubt in maximally successful lives. It increases income, and it also helps to overcome several of the disadvantages of poverty. Again, there's better health outcomes, there are actually decreases in crime, and she cites cites a number of studies to back this up. Basically, also, she anticipated her opponent probably making the argument that subsidies would serve one group at the expense of another. She also threw in a few jokes along the way and was surprisingly charming and human sounding, I would say. But also charming and human sounding was the human on the stage. Harish Natarajan, he argued against the resolution that we should subsidize preschools. He said that basically Project Debater's argument does not deal really in addressing the underlying problems that she was arguing that preschool claims to solve.